My name is Charlie McGrath. I'm the founder of WideAwakeNews.com and a host on the Rinse Radio Network. Should we be surprised that gun control, that gun grab, is on its way? The answer is no. We shouldn't. We've had years now of banker takeover, rewriting our constitution, rewriting what free market capitalism is all about, transferring fraudulent failure onto the backs of the people of the world, dominating our government with financial special interest and financial influence, all to benefit them and take the financial future from the people of this country and the world and giving it to themselves, upwardly integrating it into fewer and fewer hands. In this same amount of time, you've had our government, if we want to call it that. It's truly their government because they work on the elite's behalf, coming out and introducing legislation that is in the name of protecting you from terror-loving terrorists, but in reality, all it does is manage to take more and more of your freedom, destroy the Constitution a little bit more. Everything we've done since George W. Bush said we're going to suspend free market capitalism in order to save it is an agenda that's unfolding. And at the fruition of this plan, you have a populace that is still armed and dangerous. You can't pass all this legislation. You can't keep telling people things are getting better. You can hide 50 million people from the mainstream media who are in the breadlines, the modern day breadlines, far greater than you could in 1929, 1930, when the people were obviously in depression, when the economy obviously was not turning the corner for a better time. Now we have this mainstream media and government with Federal Reserve controlling it that can print money ad nauseum and hide all the pain and suffering going on in this country. They can tell you it's 7% unemployment, and most people will believe it. Now, it's a fact that we're experiencing participation rates that are at multi-decade lows, but it doesn't matter because as long as people keep turning into the mainstream media and getting their information there, they are led to believe that we're in some sort of recovery. This agenda is playing out, and it's coming to an end. So it makes sense that with the start of it to the finish of it, that there at some point must be the introduction of legislation to take arms away from the people of this country, because that is still a very dangerous populace out there when they can defend themselves from tyrannical government. And this is the agenda going forward now. So when everybody by now had a chance to see Alex Jones go on with Piers Morgan yesterday, everybody had a chance to see how this played out. I happen to agree with everything that he argued to Piers Morgan about. The problem is, what on earth was he thinking about going onto their platform, to their program, and thinking that he was going to be given a fair shake at presenting the case of freedom in the Second Amendment? If this wasn't a tactical move by the power elite in order to put him on there and try to make him look like a buffoon, then it certainly played out to be exactly that. A Politico article today quotes Piers Morgan as saying he's now the poster boy for gun control. Alex Jones was right, but how he did it and him going on there, in my opinion, was an absolutely mistake on his part and a mistake for Second Amendment and freedom lovers across this country. They must make anybody who wants to carry a gun in order to protect themselves from tyranny, they have to make these people out as lunatics. So it doesn't matter who goes on there. They're going to do their best to destroy their credibility and make their argument look like that of a person who should not have a gun. And that's exactly what they managed to do in that interview. This agenda will play out. We will see legislation that comes in and tries to threaten your ability to defend yourself from tyrannical government. And I happen to believe that this one issue, this gun grab by the power elite and their representatives in Washington, D.C., can most definitely be the catalyst for civil war in this country, because there's an awful lot of people here that pay no attention to what's going on with the banking elite. They can sit there and they can watch the Super Bowl or a playoff game or a college championship game and see the banks, the too big to fail institutions that have gutted our economy, being advertised all over the place in the stadium, and then have to endure their commercials during a commercial break, and they just don't care because they're not interested. They're not interested in their financial future the way they should be. They're not interested in the destruction of the Constitution as they should be. But there's a whole bunch of people in this country that understand the right to bear arms. And I truly believe that it is going to be the ultimate dividing wedge shoved right down the middle of this nation. And the majority of the people still understand that the Second Amendment was put in place not so people could go duck hunting, not so people could go deer hunting or shoot sporting clays, but to defend themselves from tyrannical government that is completely and totally and utterly out of control. Stories are attached. That's all I got.